already know, something I enjoy almost as much as reptiles is coffee. And at the last March Tinley Park NARBC, we met up with the owners of Cold-Blooded Caffeine Co. and tried their coffee. Not only are there reptiles at the Reptile Expo, there's a coffee vendor who also breeds reptiles, Cold-Blooded Caffeine Co. And they gave us coffee, and I am so happy. This is one of my favorite moments, getting coffee at a Reptile Expo. So yeah, I'm very excited right now. And we loved it so much, we decided to partner with them. So we are here at their roastery today to A, learn how coffee is made, and B, to officially launch Snake Discovery Coffee. I'm here with Trey and McKendrick, who are owners of Cold-Blooded Caffeine Co. And not only are you into coffee, but you're also into reptiles too, right?
Yep,
I mean, there's a gecko on your logo.
Yes.
So what reptiles do you keep for stuff?
Well, for me, I don't really keep any anymore. I was a boa guy from a long time ago. Then I kind of got out of it when I got out of college. But then I met Trey about 8 years ago, and he was in it pretty extensively.
And so I keep mostly large body colubrids.
That's what I'm into. The big colubrids,
Yeah.
like bull snakes?
Bull snakes, Drymarchon. I keep Chinese king rats, false water cobras. Yeah.
Do you have any lavender false water cobras?
I don't.
Not yet?
It's coming.
We
It's
don't
coming.
either. We don't
It's coming.
either.
It's
Someday.
coming.
And you breed false water
I
cobras?
do. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, we might have to talk about breeding false water cobras after this too. But
Sure.
this is all about coffee first.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
what got you into coffee?
So we have been working together for about 8 years
About
or so,
8 years,
on
yeah.
and off at different companies. So our experience is in manufacturing,
Okay.
which we'll tie back into the roastery here in a second. But we have been looking for a business opportunity, and I happened to be in the grocery store one day. I've been a coffee nut for a long time. I was the guy in the break room at the plant making French presses.
Yeah.
Fancy coffee.
Yeah,
Nice.
so I was doing that for a long time, and then I was in the grocery store one day, and I was like, okay, what's going to be my next fix? What do I want? Do I want a Brazilian? Do I want a Colombian? Do I want a Mexican or a Peruvian? And I was like, wow, I've got animals from like every one of these countries.
Exactly.
That makes sense. So I did a little bit of research, and I was like, okay, let's just make sure before we go head over heels into this that it's positive for the environment. And I was like, okay, everything that I learned, shade plants, coffees are shade plants.
Yep.
They have proven increase in biodiversity within reptile life. So I was like, this is perfect. I have a reptile business already. I breed snakes. I was breeding snakes at the time for about 8 to 10 years. So it was like, okay, let's do it. So I approached McKendrick and I was like, we're gonna do coffee. And he was like, we're gonna do coffee.
Yeah. Like, coffee?
And it was like, okay, I explained it to him and it was like, it's perfect. And every time we approach a hurdle with the coffee, everything seems to tie back into the reptiles. So what you'll notice is all the logo design, all the shows that we do, all have a reptile theme. The logo was done by Adeline Robinson, who is a reptile artist.
Really? Yeah, we've seen Adeline Robinson at the shows.
Yep.
And she did your logo?
She did the logo.
That's so cool.
Yep.
Wow, it all ties together,
It all
doesn't
ties
it?
together.
does.
Yep.
Wow. So today we're going to learn how you make the coffee from when you receive the beans to when they are bagged. So should we start with the beans?
Sure.
Yeah,
All right,
let's start
let's
it.
take a tour.
All right.
Okay, so what do we have here?
So this is a single origin Colombian coffee bean. As you can see, green still in its natural element. And this is what actually goes into the roaster before it gets roasted.
Coffee beans start out green?
They actually start out green. Most people don't know that.
I had no idea, actually. I thought they started out brown.
Yep.
So I know nothing about coffee. I do reptiles. You do both. You do.
All right.
You know how to drink coffee.
I do know how to drink coffee. Yes, I've got that going.
So now we're going to educate you about coffee as well.
This is perfect. Okay, so what do you do with the green beans?
All right, so Trey will explain to you how we load these into the roaster and what happens next.
So first we'll fire up the roaster, and you can go ahead and load the beans into the hopper.
Oh, I can?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, the whole thing?
The whole thing.
Okay.
Just dump it in.
So this whole thing is your roaster?
This whole thing, this is a 6 kilogram Mill City roaster. So that's what, about 13.5 pounds at a time that this
Okay.
roaster can do. And yeah, so you can go ahead and dump it into the top right there.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
All right. And we're ready to get roasted.
Sweet.
So when you're ready, you can just turn that knob, pull it towards me.
Okay. Okay.
and we're roasting coffee. So this, all that did was it just emptied into the hopper, into the roaster. This is a drum roaster. So all that means is that there's an internal steel drum that will spin around, and there are baffles inside of that drum that kind of move and agitate the coffee as it's roasting.
Okay. Oh, I see. So it's moving it around as it's roasting, so it roasts evenly.
It does, exactly.
Okay.
And that's kind of the benefits of what a drum roaster does. So a drum roaster uses both conductive and convective heat to heat the coffee. So conductive heat is like contact heat. It's like a frying pan, a steak on a frying pan.
Yep. And then
convective heat is air.
Yeah.
So it's heating it both through the air that's circulating within the machine, as well as the contact point on the drum itself and with the beans that are heating inside the drum.
Okay, and you can actually see them spinning
too. You can see them spinning, yeah.
Look at that. So how long do they spin and roast for?
So it depends on the degree of roast, whether you want a light, medium, or dark, but it's anywhere between like 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
So that's how you get the light, medium, dark roast.
Exactly, yeah.
It's just how long you roast it.
Yep. And
that makes sense.
And at a point during the roast, the coffee will actually crack, just kind of like popcorn does. And that's the water vapor inside of the bean expanding and actually forcing the bean to crack open.
Okay.
And so at that point, that kind of ends the roast intensity portion of it. And then all you go after that is the degree. And so that you can literally drop the coffee as soon as it cracks. That's a light roast. And then you can carry it on a few minutes, and that's a medium roast. And then continue on further, and that's a dark roast.
So it's only a few minutes roasting difference in between each light, medium, dark roast?
Exactly right.
Oh, so it cracks, the bean cracks first, and that indicates it's done at a light roast?
At a light roast, yeah.
Okay, and then you can let it, does it crack more then as it gets to be a darker roast?
It doesn't crack more as it gets to a dark roast, but it will crack for a second time. The shell of the bean will get brittle, and will actually fragment.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Is there a point to, like, too far?
That's what roasters call third crack, and that's the machine cracking. No.
Oh, okay.
But no, so it is a delicate operation, so you are dealing with a lot of heat. This machine runs at about 500 degrees at its maximum temperature. Wow. So you can take the beans to a point where they will catch on fire. So we do have the appropriate safety equipment, fire extinguisher, water bottles, things like that to make sure that doesn't happen. We never take that coffee that far, but you can set coffee on fire in the drum by taking it too far. And this is the trier. So at periodic points during the roast, you can actually pull this out and you can see the development of the beans. So right now we just put the beans in and they're still green. But as we continue the roast, and when we get near the end of the roast, I'll pull it out again and show you what it looks like when it's about done.
Oh, so just take a little sample out.
Just take a little sample as the drum is rotating. So this is down, of course, no beans can get into it. And then when you want to try, you just flip it over, pull the beans out, and you can try them.
That's awesome. All right, so we're going to let it roast for about...
Let it roast for 12 minutes or so.
Okay.
And then we'll come back and we'll take a look at it and see if it's done.
All right. Okay, it's been, what, like 12 minutes?
Yep, about 12 minutes.
Okay. Should I take a sample out?
Yeah, so spin it around and pull it out.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
look at that. So we've got the crack and the color change.
Yep.
Okay. So
and just give it a smell and see if we're ready. Smell like coffee?
Oh my gosh, yes it does. That smells amazing.
All right, so we're ready. All right, so the next step of the process is to dump it into the cooling tray. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'll let you lift this lever, and it's gonna expel the drum into this cooling tray. These arms are gonna spin around, and it's gonna rapidly cool the beans to room temperature, because we wanna stop the heat process as quickly as possible and end the roast where we intended.
Okay. So all I do is...
So I'm going to turn on the cooling arms, which are just those spinning arms in the roast. Yep. And then lift it. We're going to let those arms spin for about 2 minutes.
And that'll cool it down?
And that'll cool it down, yep.
Wow, I guess with the fan and the movement?
With the fan and the movement, it's turning itself over. It'll cool down pretty quickly. Yep.
All right. Okay, it's been cooled down.
Yep, about 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so all we need to do now is we'll just open this lever, and the beans will pour out into this bucket.
Awesome.
So go ahead, just flip that lever to the side, to the right. And there you go.
And you have coffee beans.
Finished coffee, yeah.
So you really don't want that lever to come up if there's nothing down there.
You really don't want that lever to come up without a bucket down there, absolutely.
Has that ever happened?
It has, actually.
Oh no.
Actually, I was on a video call with someone talking about the roaster and forgot to flip the latch up from the last batch. spilled all over the floor.
Everywhere. Oh no.
Yes, yes.
All right, so I assume the next step is packaging the beans.
You got it.
All right, is that what this is?
That's what this is.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is a compressed air vibratory packaging machine. They call it a wave fill machine. So what it's going to do is the beans are going to go into the top here. This is a rattle tray that's powered by compressed air, and it's going to rattle the beans down, drop them into this weighing machine here, and then once we have the weight that we want, hit the foot pedal, and it opens up that bin into the bag.
And you make sure you have a bag there.
Make sure you have a bag there. Absolutely.
All right.
Want to
Give it a try?
Yeah.
All right.
So the beans are in.
Beans are in.
And then
all
we
right.
turn
now all
on
we
the-
need is a bag.
We'll give you the honor.
Hey, okay. We'll do a snake discovery bag. Okay, so I just hold it.
Yep, just open that bag up.
Yep.
Yep, make sure it's all the way open at the bottom. It's a flat
Oh, yeah.
bag. Yep, there you go.
Like, oh, do I have to like push it over?
Yep, yep. Go ahead and push it open. Just like that. Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And we're gonna run it.
Okay.
All right.
So it fills to the exact weight that we want based on the bag size. And then once you press that release button down there, once it stops, which is right now, you
Okay.
can press that.
I'm used to these being for X-ray machines, so
Okay.
I'm used to like saying, okay, we're doing an X-ray.
and
Okay.
everybody step back.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, ready? So we're good to go?
Go ahead.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. Wow, it fills it up to the perfect level there. All right, I don't know, since I don't know how this works, I might let you do this
Yes.
part.
So the last part is sealing the bag to make sure it is secure.
Oh, so you just line it up.
Just line it up, and you can do one after the other. And once it goes through this process, you get a sealed, airtight bag.
Oh, that's awesome.
Perfectly
Nice.
sealed.
Look at that.
Yep. And then, depending on what's next, either gets boxed up, labeled, shipped to a customer.
How about the ones that are ground? Like, do you have a grinder? Because I know you sell both whole bean and ground.
We do. So that
Oh,
would
that's
be
what that is, okay.
kind of the intermediate step after we've measured it. So if we want to grind it, we would put it in this grinder. This is an industrial grinder.
Okay.
And we would still do the same thing. We would bag it, weigh it, put it in here, grind it, and then basically put it in the bag and seal it the exact same way.
Okay, yeah,
Yep.
just one extra side step.
Just one extra step.
Wow, that's awesome. Do you
Yep.
think we could like, can we brew some of this while we're here?
I think that's a great idea.
So how do you recommend brewing your coffee?
So for me, I'm a new coffee drinker. So my
Okay.
business partner Trey only taught me one way, which is the pour over, which is the ideal way to me to drink coffee.
Okay.
So here we have the Chemex, which is also has a Chemex filter. As you can feel, this is a little bit thicker than your normal filter.
Yep.
But the way this works is in order to get the perfect cup of coffee, first you need about 205 degrees of water,
Okay.
which is the perfect and ideal temperature for coffee. You also need approximately 23 grams of ground coffee.
You can just eyeball 23 grams. Oh, you have it on.
See, I was gonna trick you and say, yeah, of course I can.
This looks like a science experiment.
It actually, a lot of people think that. So we actually take this setup with us when we're doing any shows. So we take the Chemex, the scale, the gooseneck kennels, and we do pour overs at every show. So here, you have 23 grams, and this process typically takes about 3.5 minutes.
So how much water do you add?
So you want to add enough first to get the coffee ground to extract the maximum amount of coffee. So you don't want to pour too much because you don't want the coffee grounds to get all around the paper and not get the concentration of the actual coffee that you just ground. So you pour enough to get it all wet and hot for the first 30 seconds. And then from there, you just continue to pour until you reach 350 grams.
Wow, this really is down to a science.
It really is. And you want to be able to do it consistently, which is why we make sure we have the scale to weigh everything. We actually have 3 different scales at the shows because the volume of foot traffic that comes gets to be pretty intense. And when it's not intense, all we have to do is brew a fresh cup, get that aroma in the air.
Draws people right in.
Draws people right in. All right, we are right at 350 grams and we've passed the 3.5 minute mark. So now you have the perfect cup of coffee.
Gosh, it's so fancy.
Oh, it's like perfect for 1 cup.
It is,
One cup
yeah.
of coffee.
Look at that.
There you are.
So is there a different flavor to fresh coffee compared to like what you buy at a grocery store?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Trey can talk to you about it. Like I said, he taught me, but there's definitely a difference.
Yeah, so coffee does, especially ground coffee, does lose its freshness over time. So some of the aromatics will go away as the coffee ages. The fresher you consume roasted coffee, the better overall it will taste, true to its original roast.
So this is gonna taste a lot different than what I'm used to.
Yeah, that was
Probably
roasted.
so.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh my gosh, yeah, there is a different flavor there. It's much more intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it bad that I usually have cream in my? I can drink black coffee too. But are you gonna like hate me that I usually?
I will not hate you that you put cream in your sugar, in your coffee. I will not hate you that you put cream in your coffee.
what about your like double something turtle mocha cooler things?
You're just trying to get
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Is it a bad thing for people to put sugar in their coffee? I think we struck a chord there.
What I ask is that you try my coffee black first.
Okay.
And then if you think that it needs something else. To me, it's like a steak and you smothering A1 or Heinz 57 on a fresh steak. So at least try the chef's steak before you put the sauce on it. And then if you do want to destroy my art.
No, this is fantastic though, just as it is. Do you want to try it?
Sure.
Give it a shot.
Oh, that's really good. That's like no bitter.
Yeah, I could drink that black, I think. Bye.
Coffee.
So could you use this in espresso drinks?
Absolutely, yeah. So any coffee can be used in espresso. So we actually have an espresso machine here. This is a manual espresso machine made by the company called Flair. And so it's a manual machine, so the water will go in here through the top. You have your portafilter here, just like any standard espresso machine. And then when you're ready to make your espresso, you just release this down and it creates the necessary pressure for espresso. So espresso is anywhere between 8 and 9 bars of pressure. And so that's the pressure exerted upon the puck of coffee that's in the portafilter. And as you go down, this creates that pressure and then out the bottom comes the espresso.
Wow, I did not know that was like the process of espresso.
Espresso is a pressurized coffee, yes.
Huh. Okay, so can we still use this in like our drip coffee maker
can.
at home?
Absolutely, you
Okay,
can.
we don't
Yeah.
have to do it in the you have such fancy things here.
No, you can use it in your regular drip coffee maker. You can use it in the reusable Keurig pods if you would like.
Okay.
So the ground coffee that we sell is ground for drip coffee.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
All right, so you got the espresso there.
So yeah, like super concentrated coffee.
Yep.
Essentially, right? Kind
Yes.
of, in a way. Yeah, okay. So, oh my gosh.
It looks good.
It does. It looks like, you know, a typical latte
Yeah.
you get at a coffee shop. Full of sugar and sweetness.
Yeah.
So. Oh my gosh, that is, holy cow. Yep, that's mega coffee right there. Absolutely. All right, but that's espresso.
That's espresso.
So that's how that's made. I didn't know that actually. So what we made today was a medium roast Colombian coffee, and that's what's in the Snake Discovery bags. But which other ones do you also offer?
Yeah, so what we have is the Colombian that you have here, which is this bag. We also have Honduran, which we offer a light and medium roast. And then
Okay.
we also have 2 new ones that we recently acquired that Trey can tell you because he's been doing some experimenting.
Yeah, so this is a Nicaraguan honey process, and the honey processing is just the type of processing that takes place after the cherry is picked off and before it's packaged. So that's a Nicaraguan honey. We offer that in a light roast, and then this is a Papua New Guinea coffee, and it is offered in a dark roast. Each of the coffees has a different flavor profile, so similar to like a wine. So like the Colombian is more of your chocolate with hints of raspberry in it, and then the Papua New Guinea is more of a earthier flavor to it, which is why it does well as a dark roast. So each one has a different offering to bring to the table.
So it's like different locales in snakes. Like you can have a green tree python from the Biak Islands, and they look slightly different than the
Sarongs.
sarong green tree pythons. Would you kind of compare it to that?
It's very much, yeah, absolutely. So even within each country, coffees can taste different. So from farm to farm, has different soil acidities and things like that can offer different flavors. So yeah, you're exactly right.
And the last machine we haven't really gone over that's in your roastery is this guy.
Yeah.
So what is this?
So this is kind of where it all started. This is a 1 kilogram drum roaster. It is now primarily used as a sample roaster and a profile roaster. So when we get new coffees in, all the coffees that you saw previously, they've all been through this machine. This is where we run smaller batches to test out our processes, make sure that we have a product that we want to deliver to customers.
That's awesome. This is where it all started.
It all started with this guy, yeah.
That's awesome. And one thing that I've noticed is a lot of these coffee beans come from countries that have a lot of reptiles in them. And one thing I love about you guys is that you also have a conservation mindset. So $1 per bag gets donated to countries that are coffee producing countries.
Yes.
How does that work exactly?
Yeah, so we partner with Rainforest Alliance. So Rainforest Alliance is a certified program within agriculture that certifies products that are promoting sustainability within their propagation.
Okay.
So we give $1 back to the Rainforest Alliance for every bag of coffee that we sell.
That's cool.
And that goes back to those coffee producing countries to make sure that the reptiles that we enjoy in our homes also have a place in them.
Yeah, it's very important. I think that's something that's easily overlooked, but I love that you've included that bit into your business too. So I think we've officially gone through the entire roastery, the entire process from bean to bag. And so if people are interested in getting the coffee, we have the, of course, Snake Discovery blend at our shop, and you can also get it. This is on your website too, right? For people who can't come to our shop.
www.cold-bloodedcaffeine.com.
And you have all your other blends on there too?
We have all the other blends, yeah. So, and we're constantly adding more. As they come in and as we get them through the sample roaster, we'll add them to the website.
And what is your roasting schedule? Are you constantly roasting here?
Yeah, so we roast every order the day that it goes out.
Oh, seriously?
Yep, absolutely, yeah. So every bag that we send out is fresh roasted the day that it's roasted, packed up and shipped out. So you get the absolute fresh roasted coffee in your mail the next day.
That's awesome. I didn't realize that actually. I thought it was like a once a week and then you just hang on to the bags, and no, it's per order.
It's per order, yep.
That's awesome.
That's
well,
cool.
Thank you so much for having us here today and for teaching us about coffee. Yeah. Both you, Trey, and McKendrick, who's in the background.
He's hiding behind camera with me over here.
No, thank you both for your time and for having us, and for partnering with Snake Discovery.
Thank you for coming out to our roastery. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys for watching today's video. I know there weren't any reptiles in it, but the coffee here does help conserve reptiles in the wild. So, and I love coffee, so we had to do this. We had to do it.
Perfect.
So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you, Patreon backers, for your very wonderful support. Your support actually helped us make this trip here today, so thank you very much. And I guess I'm just gonna find all the coffee in this room and take it home. Do I hold?
Let loose.
Okay, so I probably just have to do it quicker. Okay. Maybe?
Edit.
Yeah, we'll edit this up.
When it comes out the other end, you have a sealed, airtight bag.
Oh, that's...
Except it's not sealed, but it wasn't warmed up enough.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't warmed up. Okay.
We'll give it a...
Yeah, we'll do that
We'll
again.
just redo that clip.
We'll do that.
And so, I don't know what to say about it.